And good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Okay. Let's since we are shooting, why don't we line up more this way? Okay. Um, just partner coming in with a grab right here and rotate the hip. Okay. Now, one of the things here is that we get visual and we freeze, but you got eyes that you see the whole room. What I'm doing a little bit right here is touching, right? Easy. Okay, so it's our entering motion. We're adding a couple of things. Touch, touch. Yeah. Okay, so let's start out with that. He could try to jab me with his fingers, but if he's going to push, say, good. There's a slope that's there. Now, on this particular one, he's coming where one, you roll off of it. Tactile. There's a giant post. I'm going to walk around, close my eyes, and feel that pillar, whatever you want to call it. In fact, there's a Chinese word called bakwa, where they kind of walk the, all right, tactile. You have eyes, good. But you develop a tactile sense, and that's where the energy comes in. All right? So as she's coming, touch, touch, touch. Yeah. Touch, touch. Touch, 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 touch. Touch, touch, touch. Safe position. Touch, touch, touch. Okay? Get the feel of it. I think it's tactile. And, you think about it. Yeah, I can have thoughts about it, but ultimately, if you're coming into the other side, touch, touch, touch. Now here I feel your weight. No, no. See, the tactile sense leads me to an energy connection. Okay? Like react to the weight out there. I'm trying to control you. The tactile sense is a guideline for us working together. So, okay, let's continue. And one thing right there, for example, touch, 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 touch. You leave it. Now that's a visual of the energy, but we're doing the same thing. We do the staff move. What are we doing? We're doing a figure eight, counter figure eight, counter figure eight. Get your hips involved. He's coming in. Roll off of that. Good. Now, does that make any sense? We spend time doing that, but that's to get the tactile sense of it. Now, a little fancier. Okay. For example, you're coming in destruction. Roll, roll, roll. Slowly, so we don't go into a certain amount of chaos here. But you see, two people too hyped up on energy with a stick, recipe for disaster. We kind of calm down, get a little deeper. You get the visual of it a little bit there. Body throw, staff movement. Okay, so it's coming in. Okay. Right. You take all that away. Okay, good. Yeah, that's a kind of ad lib at the moment, but he's coming in this direction. It's like boom, boom, boom. It's like boom, 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 boom. Energy. tactile. Okay, keep going. Connected, but all right. We're still rolling action, rolling action. Here we're going to the top. Here we're here's something a little different. We're going here, wrap it around. So what is that? Well, that's, for example, here we wrap this around. We get this motion. Oh, in figure eight. See, when somebody's coming at you, there's a tendency to kind of, tactile. You roll off of them. Now, right about here, feel your way to here. Now, right here, I set to do the movement. No set, no set. Oh, tactile. You don't want control. You want command. You're easy with it. You're creative with it. So if he's coming into this thing, touch, 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 touch. Individual. Yeah. You know, all these movements came out of the energy. Commies are energy, right? When we're kind of doing movements like this, even simple movements, like, you know, if he's coming in this direction, he'd roll up a little bit, coming over here, boom, boom, okay, boom, boom. Right? Or conversely, we roll off of it, we get this motion here. Or conversely, we roll off of it, and we get this motion here. Right? See where the movements come from? They don't come from, you know, I mean, what it is, you go to an Aikido school, join the school, you pay the teacher to teach you the movements. But those he had to learn from somebody. And the question is, well, of course, since they study with Takeda, the Daito Ryu stuff. But I think as he got a little more sensei-ish, he began to study and learn from the actual forces, the energy, right? At that point, it was no longer Daito Ryu, Aiki Jujitsu. It was eventually Aiki. So, a little different place, right? Okay. So anyway, let's just go into the Kojigai. So you have a visual. Okay. Little tip here. Watch the hands. Too quick. Roll off in that position. Not the reversal. Okay. And touch, touch. Come on. There's something already going on here. Easy, easy touch. I mean, Takeda was a brute. Kind of, you know, he had jujitsu form and he knew how to put energy into it. Daito Ryu, like jujitsu. Yeah, he was powerful. But since they took it further, right? Given a different name as he evolved. Initially, yeah, he did the movements may be about the same, but the energies are different, aren't they? Okay. And one of the things, for example, let's say we're coming in this way, and then I've got this motion here. That's the reversal of the energy, isn't it? if you can stand here, execute that turn, but it starts, just watch the hands where I'm reacting just too quick. No, I'm moving, I'm rolling off of it. And therefore, boom, you get that. Okay? You feel the difference? You gotta kind of play around with the tactile sense because as the energy comes up, I react to what's out there. Energy comes in, I deepen, want to kind of soften, be easier, more efficient, more developed in my motion. Okay, so to quit. See, right about here, I'm in front of them, but I'm going to roll off of them. I can't do that if I react here. Okay, good. Okay. This kind of has a magical side to it. It's not magic, but it can't pure magical. What Osensei was doing was magic. We're still trying to figure out the difference between magical and magic. This is maybe on a good day, it has a magical sense to it. Okay, but you see how the hands don't move like that. And that's because you're, becomes interesting. Okay, good. A lot of things we can do here. Position. What do I do here? Well, maybe if I just go that way. Now, for example, here, we're going to do that. Now, we're just change the direction without any force. Right? Without any force. Just come here a second. Same change, except we're going that way. We're going that way. No, we're going to go that way. Boom. Make some real quick. Boom. Right. We're going to go this way. No, go that way. Oh, we're going to go that way. Good. So what you find is you're getting much more done with a lot less effort and force, and your partner is a sense of wonder about it. So, there's a magical quality Uke starts to learn about. And if you don't get that, the Aikido tends to kind of be around form, which is, it's a beginning place for us. But, for example, here, okay, good. And it's not fast at all, but it's sudden. Over here, boom, sudden, boom, boom. There's a difference. And in that suddenness, there's a sense of wonder. Okay? Keep going. Come on. Okay, you expect that, but you don't expect that, do you? Oh, it's just, the touch. Okay? If somebody's on you here, there's that, but they don't expect that. Right? If you're coming in this direction, something a little closer. Come on. You're coming in. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. He's just gliding from partner to partner, but okay, different direction here. Oh, look at that, different direction here, boom. And it flows, right? So eventually, we take it into more motion, but it's just the exact same process, isn't it? Let's see. So, we're rolling off of. Now, this is the Kotegaeshi reversal. Kind of look at it. It's not a, light bounces off the mirror, gets reflected. Very natural process. And in fact, it's the same beam, but the reflection of that beam puts it in different direction. And most of the time, what happens is it bounces back, but it bounces back, and a retina is a color, right? But light is that way. If you're coming in this direction, right? Why? Because right about there, touch, grab, react. Okay. So you're in a different space. You see what I mean? The spatial sense of it. Easier. I can have a seat for a second. It's a different textural sense to you. Deeper, calmer. But very, very potent in your own way. You have something to say, but you say it in a way that is positive. All right. Like, as I said, that John Steed episode, if you, this big young hooligan, comes up to Steve and Steve just, yeah, you try that again, do this to anybody else, I'll break your arm next time. Now, we're not about breaking arms, but the sudden motion right there is almost like in the Zen dojo, you get whacked. Boom. Oh. Oh, I'm here. What's the lesson? You're here. Oh. So that reversal is just something that happens when you learn how to whack yourself. You become the Zen master, giving yourself a little kick, and then all of a sudden, that reversal happens. Okay? Okay, keep going. Ah, yeah. And figure eight motion. Figure eight motion. Figure eight motion. Figure eight motion. Now, what I'm doing a little bit, you can sort of here add a fire water change to the figure eight motion. Thumb down, thumb up, boom, boom, fire water change. And you can start to kind of do more of a 360. Easy, 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 easy. And feeling of being in an energy flow. Tactile. Yeah. So just without a throw, but somebody comes to grab or something right here. Good. Good. Which is like a figure eight, isn't it? Come in here. Good. Oh. Most Aikido techniques can be found in these movements. We give them names, can create them as forms, and then the energy goes into the form. But it's crucial that your energy, you connect to the energy in the form. There's a creation happening. Easy here. Easy, 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 easy. Now, for example, David, try holding a little bit. In fact, what I'm going to do is give you that one. Hold this in for a second. Now, I do work with heavy stuff. A lot of times I'm doing something heavy, I'm moving weight, and you put your hand on me, and I try to move. That's a little different. And so you hold that one. Okay. Yeah, just once you give it to him. And if you come with the same attacker, okay, or you grab. Okay, good. Well, and there's an area right here. I do work with heavy, but I also, in other words, if it's you, I'm moving weight, grab on here again. We'll try to move your weight. No, even here. Well, it doesn't matter. In fact, what I do is get the energy currents going. Then, let's say I have a heavier one. I feel the weight. On the other hand, go deeper in the energy. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm not really feeling the weight so much. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. So I kind of go back and forth in between light and heavy. And eventually, it doesn't matter what you're holding. If, for example, here, when I'm holding a lighter one, sometimes I begin to feel like I'm holding space, right? And then if you grab on here, I'm not going to react to the weight, but in space there's motion. Or if we're coming in this direction, we go this way. And sometimes if I hold too heavy, or just do all the work with heavy stuff, well, try it. Easier. Yeah. Yes. Freer. Yes. Yes. Now, the trick, we give you something heavy, try to make it feel like the light one. You're in energy. Yeah. Freer. Freer. Yes. So I go back and forth. I do some work with heavy. Yes. Now you're in energy flow, aren't you? Well, the next time somebody grabs your wrist or comes to push you or attack you, instead of feeling the weight, you retain that feeling of flow. Okay. All right. Anyway, keep going. Yeah. Now you're exploring. You see that feeling a little bit right there? You're creating. A little different. Now you can do this, but one of the things when you work the heavy, I do both. Because if I just do heavy, then what happens is, you grab on and I go like this and boom, there's a certain amount of heavy strength I got. But if I can transform that into that, I've worked something. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. When I teach at San Jose State, I teach 2 hours of Aikido. It's really interesting that the next class that comes screaming in is yoga. And I always think about that. And there's really good stuff in yoga, but we do much the same stuff in motion. You know what I mean? Which is very important. And so when we're kind of catch that Aiki motion place, it's still, but it's not set. It's very alive and there's motion within it. And when I'm in that particular place, I'm creative, which means my mind is not cut and imprisoned by a lot of negativity. Okay. And, I'm much more likely to be able to work with somebody or conversely, solve an issue, but because I'm in a creative space around it, not trying to control it, run from it. Um, so with today, we just kind of played around just with the movement of the staff or the spear. Is really something that as I said, I watched the yoga class, and yoga's really good. I've done some forms of yoga, mainly meditative forms, when I was a lot younger, but there's something kind of in the Aiki, though. It's really too bad for people. Of course, we're right before them and everything like that, but that the people can't feel what the yoga is good. We're doing what the yoga does, but we do it in movement. Okay, thank you. Okay.